In fact, I don't want to. You are live.
I'm,
Call this special board meeting together. Pledge allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I ask that we remain standing for a moment of silence. We lost two longtime county employees this past month. Mr. Melandino, Joe Melandino. I really didn't know him. His tenure as the DSS commissioner. I just have heard a lot of good things about him. Then he went over and worked in the courts for a short period of time. And
Good guy, Kevin. Good guy.
Good guy.
He was a good guy.
And the second one is Pat Aller. And I did have the privilege of working with Pat. Pat took over after Joan Griscott left the position as, county public health nurse. And Pat was just a total lady. We ran into some things in 2014 and 2015 with CHA, the home health care. We worked through all those issues. Just the organization that she continued on after Jones' tenure there, and appointing Janelle Jones to take her place. Basically, we're just so privileged to have those type of people work for Warren County, and Pat was a lady, and now we have Janelle following in her footsteps. So I'll ask for a moment of silence for those.
Hour.
Thank you.
Yes. I have some issues. I have neuropathy and I have a home health care company. They're excellent and big help.
Oh, excellent. I'll ask her to do the roll call.
Mr. Conover?
Here.
Mr. Leggett?
Here.
Mr. Diamond?
Here.
Mr. McDevitt?
Here.
Ms. Bramer? Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Driscoll?
Here.
Mrs. Frazier? Mr. Drossy?
Here.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Dickinson?
Absolutely here.
Mr. Merlino?
Here.
Mr. Stroud?
Here.
Mr. Wild?
Here.
Mr. McGowan? Mr. Beatty? Mr. Etu?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Ms. Runyon? Here. Chairman Garrity?
Here.
Quorum is established.
That's what I heard.
Is there any public comment before we proceed with the business part of the meeting? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the county administrator to just explain the timeline of why the special meeting today. So John, if you take it from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically, this goes all the way back to February of this year. And that's when there was a debate, a couple of debates. One was, do we extend it for 3 years or do we extend this additional tax for 2 years? So keep in mind, we're talking about the additional tax of 0.25% on top of the mortgage tax. It's not a new tax. We've been doing it for many years. This year, when we decided to become members of the CDTA, this additional tax that we collect, again, 0.25% on $1,000 goes to the CDTA to pay for the transportation services we're going to get from them beginning next year. So this went back, it was coupled in with the CDTA legislation that we needed, and also the extension of the additional mortgage tax for 2 years through 2025. On April 24th, we sent our resolution we filed with the legislature, the authority to increase, to extend it by 2 years. And it was signed by the governor on August 23rd. That was the day we were just completing our 2 days of committee meetings for the September board meeting. So we didn't get it before those committees. We introduced it. I think you all recall, Pam Vogel came up and introduced it at the last Legislative Rules Committee, and we discussed it. And what unfortunately we realized when we looked at the timeline, we need to introduce the local law, which we're doing today, then we have to have a public hearing and then vote on the law. So in order to, we couldn't do that all on one meeting on next week's board meeting. So we had to schedule this meeting to introduce the local law, and then next week we'll have the public hearing and then we can vote on it. We're required to file it by the 1st of November, 30 days prior to the effective date, which is the 1st of December. So if we vote on it on the 20th, then the clerk of the board will have enough time to get it filed effectively so it can be effective on the 1st of December. And then again, this is the money that beginning, and I think the first payment is February 1st of 2024. That will be going to the CDTA. And again, it's not a new tax. We've had this tax in effect for many years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions, Dennis?
I'll move that.
You don't need to move it. It's already on the floor.
Hmm?
You don't need a motion. It's
We don't
already
need a
on the floor.
motion. It's on the floor. Any other questions?
What did the tax used to fund? What did the tax used to fund before CDTA?
The
General fund.
general fund. Went in. Okay, I'll ask the clerk to continue on.
Okay, so for reading of resolutions, the only resolution before you is number 444, which is introducing proposed local law number 6 of 2023 entitled a local law imposing an additional mortgage recording tax in Warren County and authorizing public hearing thereon. That resolution is not subject to a roll call unless anyone requests it.
Does anybody request a roll call vote on this resolution? Seeing none,
So you just have discussion on public comment.
discussion on this resolution. Anybody who wish to discuss this resolution further? Seeing none,
Open.
we'll vote on resolution. All those in favor? Signify
Aye.
by opposed. Carry. Thank you.
That's quick.
Any other privilege of the floor with the board? Anybody wish to speak to the board of supervisors? Any members have any announcements? Ben?
Thank you, Chairman. I just received an email last night about an event that's going to take place on Sunday, October 27th. It's an interfaith calling for peace in the Middle East. Religious leaders from I think every denomination in the Tri-County region are in the process of planning that event. It will take place at Christ Church United Methodist in Glens Falls from 12 to 2. Again, that's Sunday, October 22nd. And I encourage and invite members of the board and family and friends and people in your neighborhoods to support that effort. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Motion to adjourn. Motion by Dennis, second by Supervisor Scow. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.